The thing about growing up in Copper Falls, Montana, is that everyone assumes they know your story before you even get a chance to write it. Small towns have a way of boxing people in. And by the time I graduated high school, I was firmly labeled as that quiet kid who's good with computers. Not entirely wrong, but not the whole truth either. I'm Dorian, and this is the story of how everything I thought I knew about myself got turned upside down by the last person I expected. His name was Finn Castillo, and he'd been my best friend since we were 7 years old. We'd grown up together in the kind of friendship that survives everything. Middle school awkwardness, high school drama, even the 4 years when I went away to college in Missoula, while he stayed home to help run his family's ranch. When I moved back to Copper Falls after graduation, it was like no time had passed at all. Finn was still Finn. Broad shoulders from years of ranch work, dark hair that never quite cooperated, and laugh lines around his brown eyes that came from finding humor in everything. He was the kind of guy who could fix anything with duct tape and determination, who knew everyone in town by name, who'd give you the shirt off his back without thinking twice about it. He was also straight. Aggressively, obviously straight. The kind of straight that involved a lot of talk about women and dating and his latest conquest, which made the thoughts I've been having about him since high school particularly complicated. No homo, he'd say after giving me one of his bear hugs, laughing like it was the funniest thing in the world. It was his favorite phrase, deployed whenever our friendship veered into territory that might be considered too affectionate by Montana standards. Wrestling matches that went on too long, falling asleep on the same couch during movie nights, the time he'd held my hand for 3 seconds too long after helping me up from a fall. No homo. And then that laugh that made my chest tight with things I couldn't name. The problem was, I wanted there to be homo. I'd figured out I was gay sometime during my sophomore year of college, but I'd never told anyone in Copper Falls. It seemed easier to just not. Keep that part of myself separate from home, from the life I'd built here, from Finn. Especially from Finn. Everything changed on a Tuesday in June. I'd been back in town for almost a year, working remotely for a tech company in Bozeman, while living in an apartment above what used to be Morrison's hardware store. Finn had spent the evening helping me install a new air conditioning unit. Well, mostly he'd installed it while I handed him tools and tried not to stare at the way his t-shirt rode up when he reached overhead. "There," he said, wiping sweat from his forehead with the hem of his shirt. "That should keep you from melting into a puddle this summer. You're a lifesaver. I owe you dinner. You always owe me dinner. I'll add it to your tab." He grinned and started packing up his tools. "Beer. Always." We settled on my couch with cold bottles of moose drool, the AC humming quietly in the background. Finn had showered and changed into clean clothes, but he still smelled faintly of ranch work and summer heat, a combination that did things to my concentration. "So," he said, settling back into the cushions, "were you going to start dating again?" My beer stopped halfway to my mouth. "What?" "Dating. You know, that thing people do when they want to find someone to settle down with. You've been back almost a year, and I haven't seen you with anyone. I've been busy. Busy hiding in your apartment coating. That's not the same thing." He studied me with those perceptive brown eyes. "There's got to be someone you're interested in." "You, I thought. I'm interested in you, and it's driving me crazy." "Not really," I said out loud. "Come on, man. What about that new teacher, Rebecca? She's pretty single, and I've seen her checking you out at the grocery store." The idea of dating Rebecca or any woman made my stomach turn, but I couldn't exactly explain that to Finn without opening a conversation I wasn't ready to have. "She's nice," I said carefully, "just not my type." "What is your type?" Tall ranch hands with dark hair and calloused hands who say no homo, while making me fall in love with them. "I don't know. I'll know when I meet them." Finn was quiet for a moment, peeling the label off his beer bottle. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure. Have you ever thought about guys?" My heart stopped. Actually stopped. "What?" "I'm not saying you're gay or anything," he said quickly. "I'm just curious. Like, have you ever wondered what it would be like? I set my beard down with shaking hands. Finn, because I have, he continued, not looking at me. Wondered, not about guys in general, just specific guys. The air in the room felt charged, like the moment before lightning strikes. Specific guys? One specific guy, actually. He finally looked at me, and there was something in his expression I'd never seen before. Vulnerability, fear, hope, all mixed together. Damn, this is harder than I thought it would be. What are you trying to say? Instead of answering, Finn set his beard down and moved closer on the couch. Close enough that I could see the flecks of gold in his brown eyes. Close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from his skin. I think about you, he said quietly. More than I should. More than friends do. My brain short-circuited. You what? I think about what it would be like to kiss you. To touch you. His voice was rough, uncertain. And I know that probably makes me gay or bi or something, but I don't care anymore. I just care about you. Finn. I reached out without thinking, my hand landing on his knee. He didn't pull away. I know this is crazy. I know I'm probably ruining everything, but I can't keep pretending I don't feel this way about you. He covered my hand with his. Tell me I'm not alone in this. Tell me you feel something too. For a moment that lasted forever, we just looked at each other. All those years of friendship, all those moments when I'd wondered if there was something more, all the times I convinced myself I was imagining things, it all crystallized into the single point of possibility. You're not alone, I whispered. Relief flooded his face. Really, I've been in love with you since we were 17, Finn. I just never thought that I'd feel the same way, that you'd let yourself feel the same way. He laughed, but it was shaky. Yeah, well, turns out I'm full of surprises. And then he was kissing me. It was nothing like I'd imagined and everything I'd dreamed of all at once. His lips were soft but demanding, his hands tangled in my hair, and when I kissed him back with 8 years of pent-up longing, he made a sound that went straight to my core. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. No homo, I asked, unable to resist. Finn laughed, the sound rich and warm and completely transformed. All the homo, he said. So much homo. We spent the rest of that night talking, kissing, and carefully exploring this new territory between us. Finn's hand shook as he touched my face, my neck, the places he'd never been allowed to touch before. Every kiss felt like a revelation, every caress like coming home. I can't believe this is real, he whispered as we lay tangled together on my couch, fully clothed but closer than we'd ever been. Are you having second thoughts? God, no. I'm having thoughts about how I wasted so much time being scared. He pulled back to look at me. Are you? Having second thoughts. The only thing I'm thinking about is how perfect this feels. Even though it changes everything. Especially because it changes everything. When Finn finally left that night, we both agreed we should take things slow, despite the fact that we'd known each other for 20 years. He kissed me goodbye at the door with a tenderness that made my knees weak. See you tomorrow, he asked. You couldn't keep me away. After he left, I sat on my couch replaying every moment, every touch, every word. Finn Castillo was in love with me. Finn Castillo had kissed me. Finn Castillo wanted to explore this thing between us. Whatever it turned out to be, I was the luckiest man alive. The next few weeks were a careful dance of discovery. We spent hours talking about everything, what this meant, what we wanted, how to navigate a relationship when you've been best friends first. Finn was nervous about the physical aspect, worried that he wouldn't know what to do. But every time we kissed, every time his hands found new places to touch, it felt more natural than breathing. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who falls for his best friend. He said one evening as we sat on his porch swing, watching the sunset paint the mountains purple and gold. What kind of guy did you think you'd be? I don't know. Normal, I guess. Straight. Married to some nice girl with 2.5 kids and a mortgage. I took his hand, still marveling at the fact that I was allowed to do that now. And now I think normal is overrated. He squeezed my fingers. I'd rather have extraordinary. Is that what this is? What do you think? Instead of answering, I kissed him, slow and deep and full of promise. When we broke apart, his eyes were dark with want. "Dorian," he said, my name like a prayer on his lips. "Yeah, I'm ready for more." My heart started racing. "Are you sure?" I've never been more sure of anything in my life. That night, for the first time, we made love with a passion and tenderness that left us both shaking and changed. Finn was gentle and eager and amazed, touching me like I was something precious, whispering my name like he couldn't quite believe this was real. Afterwards, as we lay wrapped around each other in his bed, he traced lazy patterns on my chest. He started, then trailed off. Amazing. Life-changing. He looked up at me, his expression soft and vulnerable. "I love you, Dorian. I'm in love with you. I love you too. So much it scares me sometimes." Good scared or bad scared? The best kind of scared. The kind that means something really matters. 6 months later, we were engaged. A year after that, we were married in the same backyard, where we'd shared our first kiss as more than friends. 2 years after that, we were foster parents to a 12-year-old boy named Sam, who'd been through more trauma than any kid should have to endure. You think we're crazy? Finn asked one evening, as we watched Sam and his friend play video games in our living room. For fostering? For all of it. Getting married, taking in a kid, building this life together in a town where half the people still think we're going to hell. I considered this. It was true that not everyone in Copper Falls had been supportive of our relationship, but the people who mattered, our friends, our families, Sam, had embraced us completely. "I think we're exactly as crazy as we need to be," I said, "and I think Sam is lucky to have us. I think we're lucky to have him." As if on cue, Sam looked over from the couch. "Are you guys being mushy again? Because that's gross." "Extremely mushy," Finn confirmed. "The mushiest." Sam rolled his eyes but couldn't quite hide his smile. In the year he'd been with us, he'd grown 3 inches, gained 15 pounds, and started laughing again. Watching him heal, watching him learn to trust us, had been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. "Hey, Sam." I called. "Yeah. We love you, kid." "Ugh, so mushy," he said, but his grin was huge. "Love you guys, too." Later that night, after Sam was asleep, and we were getting ready for bed, Finn caught my reflection in the bathroom mirror. "What are you thinking about?" he asked, wrapping his arms around me from behind. "Just this, all of it. How different everything is from what I thought my life would look like. Better different or worse different?" I leaned back against his chest, solid and warm and exactly where I belonged. "So much better it's almost ridiculous." "Good," he said, kissing my neck in the spot that always made me shiver. "Because I plan on spending the rest of my life making it even better. Promise?" "Promise." And as we settled into bed together, Sam safe in a room down the hall, and our whole future stretching out ahead of us, I knew that sometimes the best stories are the ones you never see coming. Sometimes love finds you in the most unexpected places, with the most unexpected people, and changes everything in the most perfect way possible. Finn had gone from saying no homo to being the love of my life, and I couldn't imagine it any other way.